on, you know me. Oh my god, yeah, totally that. Someone write that fan fiction right goddamn now, please. Please. In iambic pentameter.
Any English majors?
Yes, and English majors in the room. Yes, get cracking. Get cracking. Oh my god, I'm gonna start like spouting off Shakespeare now. Let's see, you with the gray thingy on your head. What do you call them up here? We call them hoodies, or not hoodies, we call them beanies. You're like, I guess so. I don't know what the word is. You know what it's called? Bargain rack.
Have you ever had a violent fight in the studio happen?
No. Why? Has someone you know had a, like, no, I've never had a violent fight. I'm not a very violent person, despite the clown story I told you. I mean, there was a time where Todd did this really cool short film he did called Green-Eyed Clown, in which he's a clown the entire time. It's like a clown world. Everyone's a clown. It's terrifying. I saw it, and Todd came into the booth right after someone, I think Terry, showed this to me, and I was like, just standing there, kind of shell-shocked from the experience. Todd walks in, I'm like, he's like, oh, did you see it? Did you like it? I'm like, well done, well done. If you ever dress up like a clown in front of me, I will fucking end you. Todd was like, okay. No, I've never gotten into a fight in the booth. Never. I don't even yell at people in the booth. I should. You, sir, in the red shirt. The red shirt.
Considering we just talked about Shakespeare, I feel like I kind of know this now, but there's a line in Steins Gate Dove that I've never been able to get out of my head, and I was wondering if you could quote it to your, credit it to yourself or Patrick.
Okay.
Methinks the lady with the fruit fixation
Good catch. Methinks the lady with the fruit fixation doth protest too much. That line is attributable to Patrick Seitz. Patrick is a brilliant writer, and he knows my affinity for Shakespeare. He has it one himself. Patrick, actually, the first time I met Patrick or became familiar with his writing was when I was directing Romeo and Juliet, which is one of my proudest experiences in the booth as a director, which I also played William Shakespeare in the production, which was really funny. Yay, 10 minutes. I know, sad. I could do this all 10 minutes. But Patrick is himself really into Shakespeare and poetry. Patrick is a very, very, very literate, very, very erudite individual. So that line is definitely his, and I'm like, oh my god, I love you, Patrick, thank you. It's a thing of mine that I try to sneak in a Shakespeare quote into everything I write, because why not? If you're a writer, you're going to do it by accident anyway, because so much of our language is a coinage of Shakespeare's. So yeah, methinks the lady with the fruit fixation doth protest too much. Now, that's impressive. That's an impressive catch, I will say. And it is from Hamlet, of course, for those of you that don't know. Not the fruit fixation part, that was our own addition. But there's a lot of Doctor Who references, of course, also in Steins Gate. But there's a lot of old school Doctor Who references that you would be hard-pressed to get that are not as obvious. There's like the blue box line, of course, which anyone can get. But there's one where he calls it Project Omega instead of Omega, which is an old Doctor Who reference. I fought for that pronunciation. Colleen was like, no, it's Omega. He's not British. I'm like, it's a Doctor Who reference. She's like, shit, okay, we'll keep it. And like 3 people have gotten that reference in the entire history of me knowing people watch that show. You, my dear, with the purple Alphonse shirt.
Do you ever hear the voices of your favorite characters in your head?
Right now. All the time, which is incidentally why I can never answer the favorites question, because they're all up here and they're like, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. And I'm like, shut up. Trying to have a conversation with these people. They frequently come out all the time. I'll tell the story again because I love it. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a couple of years ago for a convention, a really, really fun convention, run by some dear friends of mine, and I was there for like an extra day, and so the con was over, and the hotel had gone back to that dreadful place we call normal. It's very depressing, I didn't like it. I wasn't ready to be off yet. So I was kind of going around the hotel, which was now staffed by people who had not been there the entire weekend, so they had no concept of what had gone on or who I was or anything like that. So I'm like, I don't like people just coming up to me from behind pillars and elevators and hugging me. I don't like not having that. So I want attention. I'm an actor. I'm broken. I'm needful. So I went around doing Sebastian's voice all day to normal people who then just think it's sexy and don't get the reference or have trouble understanding you because you're not speaking American. But I went up to the concierge desk and had a conversation with this girl. Just made up something. I was like, I'm sorry, hello, can you tell me? I'm looking for like a good place to get a steak or something. Anything around within walking distance, or do I need to catch the shuttle? And she was like, no, what is that coming out of your mouth? Stop. And I'm playing it off, and she was like, no. Deborah, come here, Deborah. Deborah comes over. Say something. I'm like, hello, Deborah, how are you? Lovely to meet you. And the girl's like, no. If you were my boyfriend and you talk like that to anybody else, I would kick your ass. I was like, oh hell. So that happens frequently. I get into trouble in public. So I got how much time do I have left? Do I have about five-ish? I like ish. Oh yeah, we got some time. Let's do lightning round. I like lightning round. I'm also very bad at it. So who's got a good lightning round question? You, sir. Yes, you with the hair. Yes. No, sorry, the one behind you. Sorry, you already got a question, so we'll give this to the gentleman behind you. I'm so sorry. I'm like, you there! Fight it. Okay, go on.
How can you handle getting through a session while doing a character like Isaac Dan?
Oh my God, how can I get through a session with Isaac? Isaac is so much fun, you just kind of coast on that energy. And I would really get, like, it's really funny, and I would frequently have to laugh, especially if Caitlin Glass was already recorded as Miria, because she would crack me up with her reads, but it's called being a professional. I'm not very good at it, but I try. Oh my God, Bacchanal, Isaac and Marion, two of my favorite characters. You tie there in the back.
Gigawatts or gigawatts?
Oh. Gigawatts? Did I get it right?
21.
Gigawatts! What just happened? I love these guys. You, Yellow Glove, and Yellow Everything, my God.
I was wondering about the soundtrack thing that reminded you of the character. What was the remix that you used for Brittney?
The remix that I used?
The soundtrack that reminded you.
Oh, I was like, just French music. There's like a lot of French music, a lot of Serge Gainsbourg, which is who's like a very old school, like sort of loungy French singer. And he's always like, je m'appelle Tatum. He sounds like he's been smoking cigarettes since birth. And so he's got this great, it's exactly what you think about. Then he sort of talks between, the lyrics sometimes, and so I'm like, yep, that's exactly what France is going to sound like if he doesn't quit drinking red wine. So yeah, a lot of that, a lot of classical like music, just because I thought France is the type I can see him like listening to jazz, a lot of jazz. I can see France sitting on a chaise lounge, drinking red wine, listening to Charlie Parker or something, and it would just get me in the mood. All I needed for France, though, was the Blue Snuggie once I'd show up. Blue Snuggie! There's the accent. You might hear in the blue.
As a fan of Black Butler, I think you watched the show and you actually enjoy it. Are you excited for season 3?
You bet your ass I am. Daddy gets more work, hopefully. Hopefully. This side I see a fez on the doctor. Hello, doctor.
Speaking of the Doctor, did you see the recent Day of the Doctor?
Oh, God. I did.
Awesome.
All right, moving on. That's a lightning round question. Awesome. You with the white glove and the epaulets and the scarf and everything else. You.
What's the word on Natalia Beautiful World?
I could not say it because I am under a non-disclosure agreement. That should tell you everything you need to know. You behind her with a white scarf on.
How did you first get into Doctor Who?
How did I first get into Doctor Who? I was like 9 years old watching PBS, Tom Baker. Tom Baker, right? Tom Baker is my first doctor. You never get your first doctor. And I was like, oh my God, yay. PBS, late at night when I should have been in bed. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? My very, very first Doctor Who story arc was the Hand of Doom. The hand, the thing, right? That was on my... Scared the piss out of me when I was a kid. Special effects weren't so special. The sets wobbled and all the monsters were made of like mud and tinfoil. But it was engaging. I loved it. And Tom Baker's like, still to this day one of my favorite doctors because he just has that way about him. And he'd be the first to tell you that wasn't acting. That was just Tom being Tom. I want to meet that man so badly. You there.
Speaking of first, what was the first play you read by William Shakespeare?
The Tempest, his last. Actually read it with my grandmother, who was a lit professor. And there's a film out now, well, it's been out for a couple of years now, The Tempest, with Helen Mirren, who's one of my favorite living actresses, playing a female version of Prospero, but now it's Prospera. It's actually a really good performance. The movie I have mixed feelings about because I'm very picky about Shakespeare, but some of the casting in that movie is brilliant, hers especially. And hearing Helen Mirren read, act for that role reminds me of being a little 6-year-old kid, or 9, excuse me, it was 9, my first Shakespeare play, 9, reading it along with my grandmother and hearing her voice, because she would act it out, and she was like, oh, yes, oh my God, yes, chills. So The Tempest by William Shakespeare, closely followed by King Lear. That's a hell of a thing to do to a 9-year-old. But yeah, you, the sunglasses.
If you had to voice act every character from one show that you've done, which show would you do?
Legend of the Legendary Heroes, because that's a big-ass cast. I get to play everybody. Let's see, you at the very back, my dear. Red cheeks.
What was your most embarrassing moment?
Could you speak, sorry?
What was your most embarrassing moment?
My most embarrassing moment? Oh, I have a lot of embarrassing moments in the booth. One of the funniest ones, I think, that was recorded was me. My first line is Scar. I was really excited to get to play Scar, you have to understand, because when Brotherhood came around, I was like, oh my God. I wasn't around for the original dub, because that was before my time as an actor, but I was a huge fan of the show. I still think it's one of the best dubs ever done. And Damien Clark couldn't reprise his role for Scar for whatever reason, and I love his performance as Scar. So I was really nervous and really excited to get the chance to take on that role in Brotherhood. And somewhere in the computers at Funimation is me delivering my first line as Scar, with Mike McFarlane directing me, going, "Foolish alchemists who turn their backs on the ways of God shall be punished," followed by All right, so that's it. I have to go, everyone. You've been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I will be around, so please, no mosh pits, nothing. I have to run and get myself some lunch.